Hello, Ashley.
Hello, Taryne.
So, here's a fact for you.
Or fiction.
Or did you know the crown jewels contain 2 of the biggest cut diamonds on Earth?
Yes.
Wait, you knew that?
Yeah, I knew that.
How'd you know that?
It was on a cartoon I watched once. As a kid.
Cartoon?
Yeah. What was the cartoon called?
Tom and Jerry?
No. It was not the Rescue Rangers. It was the mice that were inspectors.
Rescue Rangers.
No, it wasn't that. It was, what was it? Oh my God, it's going to bother me. It was like these mice that were investigators and they...
Oh, the Great Mouse Detective?
No. It was something else. I'm going to figure
This
it out.
segment got away from us.
This really took a turn.
Today's episode is brought to you by Curology.
Curology is game-changing custom skincare made for you by a dermatology provider. They'll create a custom prescription cream for your specific goals, whether that's tackling acne, clogged pores, skin texture, dark spots, fine lines, or something else. You start by taking a short online quiz and uploading photos, and if it's a good fit, they'll ship your formula right to your door. It even has your name on the bottle, so people can't steal it from you. Curology's cleanser is gentle yet effective, so you can wash away the day's dirt before applying your custom formula. And my favorite part is Curology is just so convenient. There's no more getting lost in skincare aisles, guessing at what will possibly work for your skin. Curology takes the pain out of finding the right products by sending you a full dermatologist-designed routine with a cleanser, a moisturizer, and a custom formula made for your goals, and it comes straight to your house.
Get started with Curology just like we did with a free 30-day trial at Curology.com/advice. Just pay $5 for shipping and handling. That's Curology.com/advice to start your free 30-day trial. Cancel anytime. Prescription subject to consultation. Today's episode is brought to you by Squarespace.
Squarespace is everything to sell absolutely anything. Squarespace has the tools you need to get your business off the ground, including e-commerce templates, inventory management, a simple checkout process, and secure payments. Whatever you sell, Squarespace has merchandising features to make your product look its absolute best online. You can present your videos from YouTube, Vimeo, Animoto, and your Squarespace site. You can add an image overlay to your video to improve your website's load speed by waiting to embed video players until playback starts, which is always a good call. Everything I do has to do with social media, so I love that Squarespace can display posts from your social profiles to your website. It'll automatically push website content to your favorite social media channels so your followers can share it too.
Head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/advice to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Again, that's squarespace.com/advice. Today's episode is brought to you by Wondery.
From Wondery, Rich and Daily is a podcast packed with laughs that delivers your daily dose of the latest celebrity gossip. There's so much gossip these days that it's impossible to keep up. But you don't have to worry. Rich and Daily has you covered. Hosts Brooke Sifrin and Arisha Skidmore-Williams are comedians, besties, and the perfect guides to spill all the celebrity tea. They'll keep you up to speed on the secrets, scandals, and news in the entertainment world. Is that rumor you heard about your favorite celeb true? If it is, you better believe Brooke and Arisha will have something to say about it. In a way that only best friends can, Brooke and Arisha give their take on the stories that have the entertainment world abuzz. Rich and Daily uncorks the rumors and will leave you laughing and wanting more. Taryne and I are super obsessed with this podcast because, you know, they're a couple of besties. We're a couple of besties. We understand the dynamic. And also, Taryne and I get really overwhelmed with celeb gossip. So they do it in a way that just kind of breaks it down for you. And it's a lot easier to digest. And we just love the best friend content.
Listen to Rich and Daily on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or you can listen ad-free by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app. But all this to say, I thought that was fascinating. Also, I really feel like I missed my calling in life. I think I could have been a great criminal or spy.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
How do you know?
I feel it in my bone.
This is really getting away from us.
Because I watched Alias.
No one cared. No one asked Taryne. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Ashley. That's Taryne.
Yep.
This is Unsolicited Advice, where you guys write in your life struggles and issues, and we tell you how to handle it the best way. The best
only
advice
way.
you've ever heard, you've ever had, you can ever have.
You know, Ash, sometimes you can just, like, you don't have to just...
I'm just waiting for you to jump in. I thought that was how this works.
But you don't do well when I jump in, so I tend to
Well,
stop.
I was waiting for you to bounce. It's a seesaw situation, and you just never chimed in, so I was keeping it going.
Ooh, okay. Welcome to the episode.
I already said that.
Shut up. Before we get started, I just want to say, like, we love your guys' stories. So we just want to encourage you, as always, to write in. We are nothing without you.
We really could not be here if you guys didn't write in.
No.
So you are the majority of this podcast.
You really are.
But don't ask for 10% or your share.
Or else I'm going to have to start writing in my own stories for us to read.
Which I feel like you have plenty of.
I do. But yeah, we should definitely... What am I talking about?
No
You
one
should
knows.
definitely... Send in that story, send in that situation. Even if it's short, we can vamp on it.
Absolutely.
Also, tearing it up. Just another shout out.
Listen, guys.
Give us your embarrassing moments.
We live for funny stories. So if you guys have been sitting on a funny, embarrassing story and you know it's made for this segment, then this is your sign. God is telling you to stop what you're doing.
Do it.
And write in your funny story.
Yes.
Also, on the same note, if you have a story that you need advice on or a situation, sticky situation that you need advice on, then this is also your time to
Guys, we're in a twofer. You know what that means.
Anytime we do 2 episodes, we
get weird.
And we don't know why, but we tap into a new side of us.
Which, if it wasn't so, it's not that it's like torture, but like it kind of is, because it's exhausting. Like when we leave here after we've recorded 2 episodes, it's silent in the car.
Yeah,
like,
I was gonna say the
tired.
best is like driving back, we don't speak.
We're just like dead. But I wish we did it more often, because the second one is always
Second one's always
weird.
hilarious. It's always so funny.
But yeah, anyways.
Also, shameless self promo. Follow us on Instagram. Yeah, our Instagram's lit.
Lit. It's really not. It's just pictures of. Oh wait,
us.
We're talking about our UA Instagram.
Yeah.
I was like,
talking about your
lit.
personal Instagram?
It's my dog and
Listen,
my Lego
mine
sets.
is. Mine is.
So okay. On one of my dating apps, the fact that I had to say one of my makes me want to die.
You are not alone.
Inside.
You are not alone.
One of my dating apps, it says my occupation. I put podcast, because this specific dating app is more like
Cool, chill.
elite. So I wanted to be like podcast. Whereas
Is it
like
Raya?
my other one, I'm like child development and podcast. But like Raya, I'm like, I'm famous. I want
so
to
you
appear
know.
that way.
I'm famous.
Yeah. So I have podcasts, and then in my slideshow of photos, I don't know why, but I also feel like it's fitting. I just put a vintage Star Wars picture.
Absolutely.
And so it's funny how many guys will start a conversation and mention that.
That makes perfect sense to me.
Which always gives us something to talk about anyway.
Yeah.
So there you go. If you're looking for, always put, when you're doing dating apps, you always, where are we going? We're following it. We're just going to go. When you're doing dating apps, you always have to put either a photo that has talking points within it. So you playing badminton?
Sure.
Go with it. Badminton. Or like your prompts have to be like full of stuff that people can start a conversation with. Right. So like that's
easy
why I threw that
conversation
one
starters.
in.
Yeah.
Also, it's a slideshow, so you have a bunch of pictures. So I just threw it in. Anyways, so this guy was like, "Hey, so is your podcast about Star Wars?" And I was like, "Why have I never thought of that?" Imagine a podcast with just me sitting talking about Star Wars.
Guys, this is the
It would be
official
amazing.
announcement that Taryne is coming out with her own
I am
podcast,
Ashley
a solo
Flowers.
podcast all about Star Wars.
Every Crime Junkie episode now is like, "Hello, I'm Ashley Flowers, and here's my new podcast." And I love them all. So.
She has 50.
She's great. She just had a baby. Congrats to her.
She's just living her best life.
I'm trying to get like you, my boy.
My boy.
That TikTok.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It will be no.
Oh my God.
Oh, crying. Okay. Anyways. Okay. So
where no one asked about the dating apps
What are
or
we talking
advice
about?
on the dating apps.
I don't know where we've talked about it all. I feel
But
like drunk right now.
No, you just randomly started talking about your multiple dating apps and how your Star Wars
I don't know.
photo.
We're gonna bring it back. I have a Turn It Up this week.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes. I'm not gonna say the title because it gives it away.
Okay.
But okay. Hey, Taryne and Ash.
Hey.
Okay. I was just at the gym listening to older podcasts from you girls. Weird, I know. Who gets their pump on by listening to podcasts? The answer is me. I feel like a lot of people do, actually.
It depends on what I'm doing. If it's cardio, I can't go slow. It has to be like some kind of hype up something. If I'm just like, it's like, lifting, light lifting, or like
then
light stuff, then I could do a podcast. I don't think I would do ours though.
But I've heard, honestly, I feel like there's been a
multiple
few people that have
they
said
listen
while working out.
I could see like if it's like a slow cardio, like Stairmaster, I could do a podcast on that.
Or like walking
but
incline.
If I'm running on a treadmill, I need someone yelling at me through the
like
earphones. Yeah, there's no way I can get my ass running without that. I just
love that you're working out because I'm not. So good for you.
We love that for you.
I was listening specifically to an old Turn It Up. Then it hits me. I have the perfect story. I am currently 20 years old and in my third year of university, and I'm writing from Canada.
Oh,
Canada.
That's all I got.
Yeah, same. Okay. This story comes from a traumatic incident in high school. For the sake of this story, you can call me Jay. I had worked late on Thursday night and took off my makeup in the dark, so I wasn't necessarily looking at what I was doing. Now I definitely always check in the mirror. I overslept for school the next morning. Keep in mind, I was in my senior year and I was the girl who seemed to always be put together. I woke up, threw on whatever clothes were on the bedroom floor, and ran out the door to school so I wasn't late. I've totally had those days.
1,000%.
Where I've literally just been like, in the car, I'm looking at myself like, what am I wearing? Because I was like,
what is
stressed.
my outfit?
Yeah.
Am I wearing shoes?
Yeah. You're like, I didn't brush my teeth. I didn't comb my hair.
I don't have deodorant on. Keep your arms down.
Yep. Fast forward to that night. I had plans to hang out after school with this really cute boy I had a crush on.
Cute.
He had already seen me without makeup, so I wasn't all that concerned with looking a little rough when we hung out. We had been driving around for about an hour, and he asked if I wanted to grab coffee. I find us a table, and he goes to grab the drinks. He sits down, and I swear his jaw dropped all the way to the floor. He looks at me and says, I think you're missing one eyebrow. What? I sprinted to the bathroom and looked in the mirror. Sure enough, I had walked around all day with only one eyebrow drawn on my face. Keep in mind, in high school, for some reason, I thought black eyebrows were the move, even though I had light blonde hair. No. So I literally looked like I had a black caterpillar on my face. And I went all day long and nobody told me. What's so funny to me is she was sitting in the car for an hour with him, but he could only see one screen. That's the part that killed me, because then it's like, okay, now we sit. It's like turns her face and
also,
it's like, oh.
Hun, who are your friends?
I know. No one at school.
If that happened to Taryne, first thing I would have said, I would have been like,
something's happening.
Go to the bathroom, fix your face. Yeah. I would not have let her walk around all day.
She says, fast forward 3 years, that boy and I have now officially been together for 2.5 years and are living together with our new pup, and I couldn't be happier. However, I still always triple check to make sure all my makeup is off my face before I go anywhere, ever. And my boyfriend and I still like to use this story as an icebreaker at parties. LOL.
Absolutely.
She included a picture, and I'm dead.
Of her face?
Yeah.
She got up. I love this.
No. Of what her eyebrow situation.
Oh, no.
Her hair is so light. She has a very light complexion.
Thick, bold, dark
and
brows.
it is a dark brow.
But she's as white as me.
It's a dark brow. Yeah. I'm dead. That's so funny. I've never had to draw on my eyebrows. You do. I pencil mine in all the time. I also started getting my brows tinted, and that was the game changer for me. Yes.
Yeah. Because I have like very light brown, mostly blonde brows. So a little definition is makes a big difference.
It does make a big difference for sure.
They go from fluffy
That's
little
so
caterpillars to brows.
Yeah. Surprise. Thank you so much, Jay, for sharing that story. I thought it was hilarious.
It was
I could
very
picture
funny.
that whole thing.
My sister also went through a very strong, bold brow phase. Where she like very much like did the corners, like the inner corners. It was like a
square.
Like a square.
Yeah.
And it was such a bold square.
That was like a thing.
That it was obvious when she didn't have her makeup on because they were so bold. Yeah.
It's funny too because it's like a dude being like, I think one of your eyebrows is missing.
I think you're missing an eyebrow.
So Ash,
Taryne,
what do U.S. News, PC Magazine, and Popular Science all have in common? They all rank Simply Safe Home Security as the best home security of 2021. In fact, U.S. News just named Simply Safe the best home security of 2022 as well.
With a comprehensive set of sensors and cameras, including the all-new wireless outdoor security camera, you always know what's going on inside and outside of your home. Simply Safe is less than $1 a day, you guys. $1 a day is worth your safety. That's all I have to say.
$1 a day keeps the bad guys away.
And you can set up the entire system within about 30 minutes, and it's always so simple to use. I love Simply Safe because they're not trying to stick you into a 2-year contract. There's never a long-term contract. You can even try it for 60 days risk-free and see if you like it. And if you don't, you can send it back free of charge because Simply Safe stands by their product. Simply Safe protects over 1 million homes in the United States alone, and they are ready to protect yours.
You can customize the perfect system for your home in just a few minutes at simplysafe.com/advice. Go today and claim a free indoor security camera plus 20% off with interactive monitoring. Go to simplysafe.com/advice. So, I am afraid of the dentist.
Taryne is
Ash
afraid of the
knows.
dentist.
So I became obsessed with trying to find like products that helped from home. But the problem that comes with, especially like teeth whitening, because I'm a coffee drinker, is most of them were like too harsh or didn't work. And I do have more sensitive teeth. And so we got sent a package from Lumino. And y'all, when I say I'm obsessed, my pearly whites are kicking. Also, I learned so many things like 98% of oral bacteria is actually good for you and is essential for oral health. And the fact that all bacteria is bad is just a myth. And Lumino, you know, they just educated me. Educated.
Guys, Lumino makes toothpaste, mouthwash, and whitening that are all totally new and a different approach to improving your oral health. One of my favorite things about Lumino is you won't find any harsh chemicals or bleaches in any of Lumino's products. Everything is dentist formulated, backed by over 50 studies, and proven to protect the good bacteria, also known as the microbiome, which is inside your mouth. As you guys know, I do all the influencer things. I do YouTube, I do social, so my face is constantly on camera, and I'm obsessed with whitening my teeth, and their whitening strips are absolutely fantastic. It only takes 30 minutes to completely revitalize your smile.
Yes.
And it doesn't hurt your teeth, which is an amazing thing for people with sensitive teeth like me. We're going to just dive right in.
Oh, shoot.
We're going to just dive right in. Okay. This one is titled Emotionally Cheating Husband Deployment.
Oh, no. I don't like it already.
Buckle up. Buckle up. Okay. Hi, Ashley and Taryne.
Hello.
I love your podcast. You guys give the best advice. I would like to remain anonymous as I have recommended many friends to listen to your podcast. Makes sense to me. Okay. She continues. My husband is male and I am female. We are both in our early 30s. We have 2 boys who are 8 and 3 years old. I have been a stay-at-home mom since my husband joined the Army 6 years ago. Prior to this, I was working full-time and primarily taking care of our son. Things were rough living in an expensive state with the cost of living, so he joined the Army for an opportunity to leave said state and for me to fulfill my dream of staying at home with our first son, who was only 2 at the time. Prior to joining the Army and moving, he had an emotional affair with his best friend's wife.
Ooh.
It was later revealed that 5 years prior, he had a physical affair with her as well, but it didn't involve sex. This happened while the girl was newly married to his best friend and long before I had even met him. This emotional affair rekindled after he was asking her for relationship advice about the two of us. We were not yet married.
I'm so triggered by that.
Oof. He and I had been arguing a lot and disagreeing on many things surrounding parenting duties. The primary issue was that I was pulling most of the load, but he still expected me to be affectionate towards him despite his constant negative attitude from him and unwillingness to cooperate and help with parenting duties. We have been together since 2012 and married in 2014 and have not had an easy marriage, mostly due to his negative attitude toward every situation, even happy ones, his selfishness, and his lack of care towards me as a person. I.e., I would like to go for a walk or go to the store on my own, but he would guilt me into taking one of the kids with me, or say he has plans and I can't go, or say our son will cry the entire time that I'm gone. So my mental health and physical health has been suffering. Fast forward, about 4 weeks ago, I was playing on the VR headset, and all of these messages began popping up from his Facebook Messenger account onto the VR headset.
Oh, shoot.
I didn't even know you could log on to Facebook from the VR, let alone see messages.
You can do anything on the VR.
Evidently. I was confused on the first few I saw and assumed they were from a group chat or not intended for him because when I clicked on the message, they disappeared. But I saw the name was Savannah and that the profile photo was of a woman with her family. I logged him off of Facebook and never asked him about it. About a week later, I went back onto the Oculus and messages popped up again, despite me logging him out. And this time the notifications stayed and I was able to click on them. My heart rate was at about 130 BPM, but I read the messages. The entire conversation history was deleted, of course, except for the most recent conversation, which was about Savannah being jealous and how my husband couldn't handle her blowing up his phone. He also mentioned how he has told her about the situation he is in and doesn't appreciate her causing him more stress. She basically said she wanted to make sure that the feelings she was having weren't in her head, and she wondered why he had ghosted her for 3 days. Prior to me finding the messages, the previous 3 days with him were wonderful, and apparently he was ignoring her during that time. Come to find out, my husband was talking to her for a little over 2 months. He reached out to her because her husband is currently deployed and wanted to see how she was handling it, being that she also had 2 little kids. It apparently evolved into an emotional affair. We are signing up for counseling. He blocked her on all social media accounts. I immediately found a job to bridge my gap in employment, and I am trying to look forward to the next step. I feel so numb still. He has been so apologetic, has been doing all the things I've been asking him to do for years, helping around the house, having a friendly attitude, interact and help with the kids. But I don't know if it's a little too late. I have so many questions, and since I have never forgotten about his first affair or fully trusted him again, I don't know how I can trust him ever again after this one. I keep visualizing this woman who is the same age as us, but is in much better physical shape than I am. I wonder if they exchanged photos. Did he think of her sexually? Does he miss her? What all did they talk about? Did he speak badly of me during this time? I don't know if it's worth even asking these questions. I don't know if I should move on or work on this marriage at all. I want to know whether or not he loves me or if he even wants to see our boys on the daily. I hate the situation, and although I know my worth, I also feel a little self-conscious now too. Any advice and comments are welcomed.
Okay. That is a marathon.
Mm-hmm.
I have so many things in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, it's so hard because I think stereotyping is so damaging, but then stuff like this happens and I'm like, it's so hard because the whole once a cheater, right?
Right.
And it's like, okay, I hate that because I think sometimes people are in just specific times in their life, they make mistakes, they do stuff. Mm-hmm. It's never okay.
No.
Ever okay to cheat on someone. I want to make that very clear. But it's like you hope that people have the ability to change. Mm-hmm. But then you hear about this and it's just so frustrating to me. I can't imagine getting over someone cheating to then discover that they're doing it again, to then discover they're doing it again. Like every time you build up your life and like try to keep moving forward, this happens again. I have so much respect for people who can move past situations like this, which it's totally possible. And people totally can forgive someone and have, honestly, I've seen even like a healthier relationship. But I know myself and I know like I'm not capable of that. Like I'm not.
Yeah, I think what people don't talk about is, like, I personally do think people can change. And I do think it is hopeful that he can change. But are you able to move past that?
Yeah, like
just because he changes,
been done.
Yeah, it doesn't, like, obviously you want him to be involved with your kids. Like, I'm just painting a picture here. Like let's say you guys separate. Like, that doesn't mean you keep him away from his children. No, he can still very much be like a good man and a good father and even a good like partner in raising your kids. But are you like physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually able to like continue forward? Because if the answer is no, you don't need an excuse or reason or logic to follow that. If your answer is no, then that's all you need. Because you also have to take care of yourself and make sure that you're in a good place for yourself and also in a good place to take care of your kids.
Yeah.
So it's kind of okay to be not, I don't want to use the word selfish, but for lack of a better word, selfish.
Yeah.
It's 1,000% okay to put your feelings and needs first right now. And if your answer is, I can't do this with you, then that's your answer.
Yeah, it also, I feel like it's hard because I think a lot of people are capable of drastic change when they're trying to save something. But, you know, like whether that change is lasting or not, like that's something only like time will tell.
Yeah.
I do think like I feel like if you are going to make something work with someone who's cheated on you and all this stuff, I feel like the only way it can be successful is if you're able to like, you come together, you hash everything out, and then which sucks because I think the hardest position is to be the one to forgive and forget. And it sucks that it has to always be the person that got cheated on, because why should you have to do the hardest part of the whole thing when like you're not the one who broke the relationship and the trust?
Yeah.
But
you're there because of them.
Yes. But I do think you have to be able to forgive them and decide to move forward. And I don't think a relationship can be successful if you're constantly like, well, you remember what you did, so I deserve this. And like, because then it just creates this constant cycle of like, I'm trying to make up for what I did and I'm still holding this against you and I'm still upset. Like, and that's a hard place to stay in emotionally. So I feel like it almost has to be something where, kind of like what you were saying, where you sit back and you're like, okay, am I willing to move forward with this? Like, am I able to trust him again? Yeah. Am I able to trust him again? Am I able to like open myself up to him and be intimate with him and be like loving and like let my heart open up to him again? Or am I gonna just live the rest of my life with like one eye open and constantly wanting to check his phone and questioning every interaction he has with every girl? So it's just a weird thing. But also, can I just say, most of the things she said, like, oh, he checked on this woman because she was deployed. No. Like, or her husband was deployed. No, that's not your job. Oh, he was talking to my best friends about that. Like, no, like and that's what I'm saying. Like cheating always starts with this tiny, tiny moment that seems like not a big deal, and it spirals, which is why I believe in very clear-cut boundaries. So I just think like, I feel like moving forward, a lot has to change on his part, where it's like, hey, bro, like, you're not investing in the opposite sex relationships because you clearly can't handle it. So are you willing to draw those own boundaries in your life without me having to feel like a mother and being like, you can't talk to her, you can't do that? Yeah. And then if he is willing to do those boundaries, if this change lasts, are you willing to be happy in that relationship? Like, it's so hard. And I feel like it's hard to give advice because it's such a personal.
Yeah. What I love is at the end, you said you are signed up for counseling. I love that he has already blocked her from all social media accounts, and I love that you got a job.
Yeah.
I think those are amazing first steps, and I think that's a great foundation to start on.
Yeah.
I think the next tangible steps for you would be to personally check in with yourself. Let's be hopeful. Let's assume he is capable of change and he becomes a great father, husband, partner, in every way. Can you move past that personally?
Yeah.
If you can, then I think you and him need to come up with a list of things that need to happen. I think there is great change, and I think separating for a bit is a good, healthy move. Not only in like making him aware of like what he could lose, but also in just like getting space and regrouping and healing separately. I think that could be a really good idea. Obviously, I would definitely run all this through your counselor.
Yeah.
But then make a list of like what he's done wrong in the past and what you're going to need from him moving on in the future, and then just give it time. And if he is able to check that box, whether that's going to counseling every single week at the same time, he's never late, like he shows up, he pours in, that's taking care of the kids and taking care of you. If he does that for X amount of time and proves it to you, then I think that's awesome. I think stereotypically, cheaters, like Taryne said, do great the first month and then go back to how they are. So I think if you want to see something lasting with him, then you need to give him some boundaries and you need to make sure he sticks with it over a long period of time. Yeah, because if he can't do that, then he's not fully in it, and you shouldn't be wasting your time.
But also, like, I think with your counselor, you need to not hold anything back. Like, you need to hash it out, because
everything.
This is not just like, oh, he cheated and we're trying to recover.
Yeah.
He's cheated multiple times with both strangers and people that are really close to us. So like, I mean, for me, like, I'd be like, nothing is safe. Like, no one is safe. Like,
I mean, I wouldn't.
Yeah, like, you're communicating to people through a freaking VR headset. So, like, how many times have you been playing VR in the room and I'm just sitting there and, like, what were you really doing? Like, there's so much there. So I think that you need to go into therapy, like, guns blazing, like, hash everything out, say everything you need to. Like, to me, this is crunch time. Like, this is, like, the third time that you know of that he's cheated. So if, like, there's no holding back, like, you guys need to hash it out to see if, like, there still is something there that you both are willing to fight for and work for.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, it has to feel, I mean, I know it feels like you're probably, like, powerless in this, but really, like, you are the one that is in the power seat right now, because you have the choice of, like, I'm going to make this work or not. And if you chose not to, not one person on this planet would hold that against you.
Yeah.
Because of how frequent this has happened. And because, like, even though, you know, like, there's some people that are like, yeah, he cheated, he made mistakes, but he's such a loving husband. He's there for me. He's supportive. Like, and again, not that it ever makes it right, but, like, he hasn't been supportive of you. He's been, like, it sounds like pretty toxic to you. So I just think, like, you need to, like, let everything out. You need to hash it out and take back your, like, feeling of, like, no, this is my relationship too, and I have a right to, like, say what I need to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just glad you guys are in counseling, and it's so hard because they have kids too, so that makes it, like,
the kids
rough.
Does make it a lot harder.
Yeah.
But just based off of the many friends that I had whose parents split up because of cheating or X, Y, or Z in, like, high school and just in my life in general, I think what they would love to see is a mother who prioritized her own mental health and physical health and marriage and them.
Yeah.
So whatever that looks like, I think they would much rather see that than pretend everything's okay.
Yeah. And I just want to say, very loud so you can hear me in the back, to you and to everyone who has been cheated on, this is not your fault. It is not a reflection of you. This is something that was damaged or broken in that other person. And it feels so personal, and it feels so like, well, what did I do? I wasn't sexy enough. I wasn't, like, loving enough. Like, what did I do to deserve this? And I just want to say over and over, it is not, like, it has nothing to do with you. And I think it's so easy to put yourself in those shoes, which then causes you to feel like, oh, well, I deserve this. And you don't. Mm-mm. Like, freaking, if Beyonce can get cheated on, no one's safe.
No one is safe.
No one is safe. But I hate seeing women or men who have been cheated on kind of retract into this, like, you're embarrassed and you're like, well, obviously, like, he didn't think I was hot enough, so he went for and it's just it is not that. It is something broken in the other person. So you need to, like, hold on to your self-worth and your self-respect and, like, not let someone else's damage make you damaged. Like, it's not about you. Like, I'm sure you are a beautiful, amazing, great mother, great wife. Like, this is not about you.
Yeah.
And so I just really wanted to say that because it makes me sad.
You know, it's devastating, but I think what you've laid out for the next steps are solid, and I love that for you. And I think if you draw those boundaries, once you draw those boundaries, all you have to do is sit back and see if he steps up. Yeah. If he doesn't step up, that is a red flag. That's a clear sign that he's not in this, and you got to leave. Yeah. You know, but it's really you get to sit back now and see. Yeah.
But yeah, don't back down from counseling.
No.
Freaking get it.
We love counseling. Highly recommend it. We love you and thanks for writing in.
I'm so sorry.
I know there's multiple listeners who really resonated with this.
Yeah. Ugh. Cheating just oof. It breaks my heart.
I feel sick every single time.
Yeah. If you are not technologically smart, if you have vision, an artistic eye, but don't know how to do anything with that, if you are wanting to be organized, but don't know where to go to organize everything, have we got something for you. Enter Squarespace.
Guys, Squarespace is everything that you could possibly need to sell anything that you could possibly sell. Squarespace has the tools you need to get your business off the ground, including e-commerce templates, which we love a good template, inventory management, a simple checkout process, and secure payments. Whatever you sell, Squarespace has merchandising features to make your product look their absolute best online. You can connect with your audience and generate revenue through gated, members-only content, very exclusive, manage your members, send email communication, and leverage audience insights, all on one easy-to-use platform. As you guys know, everything I do is pushing my social media content. What I love about Squarespace is you can display posts from your social profiles to your website, which automatically pushes website content to your favorite social media channels so your followers can share it too. And with Squarespace, you can grow and engage your audience with Squarespace email campaigns and create powerful email content that matches your website to your existing products, blog posts, and logo so your messaging is consistent and effective.
Head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/advice to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Again, that's squarespace.com/advice. If you are a fan of podcasts, which I'm assuming you are because you're listening to ours, you know certain names. Mm-hmm. And everybody who loves podcasts has heard of Wondery. Mm-hmm. They're one of my faves.
Oh, they're a good one.
They got so many shows. And one of the shows that I've been super obsessed with is Rich and Daily because it is comical, it's informative on all of the latest celebrity gossip that we all want to know about, but like we don't know where to go to find out about.
We love the drama.
Love the drama.
From Wondery, Rich and Daily is a podcast packed with laughs that delivers your daily dose of the latest celebrity gossip. There's so much gossip these days that it's impossible to keep up. But you don't have to worry. Rich and Daily has you covered. Hosts Brooke Sifrin and Arisha Skidmore-Williams are comedians, besties, and the perfect guides to spill all the celebrity tea. They'll keep you up to speed on the secrets, scandals, and news in the entertainment world. Is that rumor you heard about your favorite celeb true? If it is, you better believe Brooke and Arisha will have something to say about it. In a way that only best friends can, Brooke and Arisha give their take on the stories that have the entertainment world abuzz. Rich and Daily Daily uncorks the rumors and will leave you laughing and wanting more. Taryne and I are super obsessed with this podcast because, you know, they're a couple of besties. We're a couple of besties. We understand the dynamic. And also, Taryne and I get really overwhelmed with celeb gossip. So they do it in a way that just kind of breaks it down for you. And it's a lot easier to digest. And we just love the best friend content.
Listen to Rich and Daily on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or you can listen ad-free by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app. So the weather has been changing back and forth. And it's so weird because I noticed like my skin routine will all of a sudden not work. And it's not so recently that I realized like your skin fluctuates like with the weather.
100%.
And I don't always have the time to research and find new things. And once I'm set on something, I love it. And that is one of the reasons why I love Curology is they have people that check in with you to see how you're doing and adjust your formula to get you your goals, whatever they may be.
Guys, Curology is a game-changing custom skincare made for you by a dermatology provider. They'll create a custom prescription cream for your specific goals. So whether that's tackling acne, clogged pores, skin texture, dark spots, fine lines, or something else, Curology has you covered. You start by taking a short online quiz and uploading photos, and if it's a good fit, then they'll ship you your formula right to your door. And it even has your name on the bottle, which is amazing if you have roommates or a sister that might steal your product. It's nice knowing like, hey, that's mine. So as you guys know, I am 32 years old. I am at a point in my life where I'm no longer focusing on acne. I am now focusing on things like collagen, fine lines, wrinkles, moisture, texture, stuff like that. I'm currently obsessed with their moisturizer because we are still in like colder weather technically. Their moisturizer has deep hydration designed by dermatologists. You can choose from either the normal or the rich moisturizer depending on how dry or oily your skin is. I almost always go rich because, you know, rich. And then my other favorite product of theirs is their emergency spot patches. Even though I don't struggle with acne anymore, well, you know, every once in a while one will pop up. And their patches help sudden spots heal with this hyaluronic patch that absorbs all of the nastiness that's underneath the skin.
Get started with Curology just like we did with a free 30-day trial at Curology.com/advice. Just pay $5 for shipping and handling. That's CUROLOGY.com/advice to start your free 30-day trial. Cancel anytime. Prescription subject to consultation. Okay, this story is called I Love You, but Don't Get Close to Me.
Relatable.
Right? Okay. Hello, Taryne and Ashley. First off, I would like to say how much I love you guys in this podcast. I love putting this on while I'm doing my homework. I would like to stay anonymous, but you can call me Leah.
Hey, Leah.
Hey, girl. I'm a 6, wing 5.
Whoa.
So 6 is the loyalist, but also like the people that like worry a lot about like, oh my gosh, like you feel sick. Well, what if you have this? Like, oh, let's research it. Let's, you know.
They struggle with a lot of anxiety. They see a lot of worst case scenarios first before thinking about anything positive. But they are also like the most loyal when it comes to relationships.
Yes. But they are the people that can take a tiny thing and within themselves talk them into this is a end all be all situation.
Fight when nothing actually happened.
Yes. Which I think is remember that as the story goes on.
Oh, noted.
Okay. Every time I get acquainted with someone, I feel like I can be my true self. I don't care if they see my flaws and I'll tell them details about my life. However, as my relationship grows stronger with a person, I become more closed off. All of a sudden, I feel the need to never show them my insecurities or flaws. I make myself appear perfect to them. I always felt bad for doing this because it has hurt some of my relationships. My friend and boyfriend have told me that they felt comfortable opening up to me at first, but now they don't feel that way because I don't do the same.
Wow.
It sucks, and I wish I could fix it. Any advice you ladies have would be greatly appreciated. I hope you have an amazing rest of the day and stay safe. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
That's how I read it because she put BYEEE.
Wow.
That's
like opposite.
Very interesting. This is very
I
interesting.
love how short and to the point that was.
Yep.
Like, this is my issue. Here's
That's
what I'm struggling with.
saying.
Let's fix it.
Like, write in what you have to say. It doesn't have to be this novel. It can literally be short like this. Like, I always do this and I don't understand why. Like,
Yeah.
I love it. It's just life stuff.
I wonder if it's a like, because it's not a security thing, because obviously she's opened up already.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's a sense of like wanting some distance or some, not independence. I'm trying to think of a different word, but some,
Yeah.
you know, privacy. Wanting a sense of, oh, you don't need to know, wanting a sense of like mystery, maybe, or.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting because usually you hear the flip side, and the flip
Right.
side like makes sense because it's like, oh yeah, the closer someone gets, the more you're like wanting to share with them. But in the beginning, it's hard because you don't know if you trust them. So, but in a weird way, I get it too, because if someone gets closer to you, you feel more vulnerable and attached. So then that becomes something you actually care if you lose it.
Yeah, which is
So-
scary.
Which is
Very
scary,
scary.
which could make you then get into defense mode of, okay, I have to be perfect so that they don't leave. So to me, I would be very interested in knowing if you have stuff in your past that has formed like an abandonment issue or like, you know, if you have people that were close in your life that have like up and left.
Yeah.
For reasons that you took on as like, oh, it was because I did this and that's why they left.
Yeah.
So to me, this makes sense. And I think to me, it shows like the more you care about a person, the more you get scared of losing them.
Right.
But I will say, I feel like this is not as common. It's usually flipped.
Yeah, I think it's also, I feel like I hear about this more so in relationships. The farther you get into a relationship, the more you depend on them. And that can be very scary for very independent people. Realizing, oh, if they don't text me, that might ruin my whole day. Like that is a weird moment where when you're like, yeah. Or, you know, if you don't see them for a long time, can you handle that? Like realizing that huge dependency that you have on someone can be a super scary moment for people who aren't comfortable necessarily with being vulnerable. I think it's interesting how she worded it.
Yeah, and I think it's because for me, like I can see how people in your life are confused because they're like,
because it's pretty opposite.
Like things were great and now you feel like shut off.
Yeah.
So even though I'm totally taking the liberty of interpreting why you do what you do. But even though people are getting closer to you, which is why you put up your defense because you care about them leaving, is what I'm thinking. They're seeing the opposite of like, okay, like I'm getting closer to her and she's shutting off. She must not be interested. So I'm sure it causes rifts, which then just like reinstates this whole thing because you're like, oh my God, I'm not even showing them my flaws and things are getting weird and they're leaving.
Yeah.
But in reality, people want intimacy with people. They want your mess. They want your deepest thoughts. They want to talk about emotions. And I think one of the reasons why I feel like I get so close with people is because I'm not a person that shies away from like sharing my mess. And the second I do, then all of a sudden that person's like, oh, okay. And then they share theirs. And then you instantly form that like connection, right?
Yeah.
So I think that for you to understand, like from their perspective, they got to see you and have this comfortable relationship. And when you're shutting off, even though I think that's a defense mechanism for you, for them, that's going to trigger a defense mechanism in them as well to be like, whoa, like, why is she backing off? Like, I'm going to back off as well.
Yeah.
So what is nice though, is it sounds like you're very aware of it.
Yeah, very level-headed. Very
sounds yeah. And it also sounds like you have friends and a boyfriend that have told you like, hey, like you don't share stuff and it makes me feel like I can't either. So I think you're at like a perfect place where you can like decide to push through this and to work on it. I also think like this is a very easy thing to tell someone. And for them to, if they care about you, they're going to understand. Like, for instance, we've talked about on the podcast. Remember that fight we had in the car? I was like upset about something and I was telling you, and then you weren't like fighting with me, basically. Like I was trying to fight with you.
We were going to Malibu.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was trying to fight with you because I was upset about something.
I'm a very visual person.
Yeah. Yeah, because we were going to dinner and we literally pulled over because I was like sobbing and I was like, okay, we can't like drive up. And I was like, we are having this conversation. So we're talking about it. And I remember crying and telling you, I'm like, Ash, you don't fight with me. Like, you don't tell me what, like, do I ever piss you off? Like, are you mad at me ever? Like, I want the mess. And you, like, so calmly, but it was hard for you. I could tell. We're just like, I can't, that is not who I am. Like, I need to think about it. I need to like marinate on it, and then I need to talk calmly. I can't just say what I'm saying. And then you shared about like how you had a friend where like you guys had a fight and that was the end of your friendship. And so you carried that fear of like friendships ending if you get to that point.
Yeah.
And so for me, like all this frustration that had been building up, which I'm paralleling to the story, like in that moment when you shared that with me, I was able to be like, oh, shoot, like that makes sense to me. Like, I get why that fear is very valid to you. And I get that this isn't your style. Mm-hmm. So then I feel like that was like a big breaking point for us to be like, okay, like then let's figure out a way that works for both of us.
Yeah. And the more, so I'm over here just having a revelation. The more that we're talking about you, Anonymous, I feel like I also don't share.
Yeah, no.
I'm like, wait, are we the same person?
Yeah,
because I agree. I think at first I was like, no, it's backwards. No one does that. And then I was like, wait, I think I do that. Yeah. And I think it's a thing where I am good with people, and I think I am good at being vulnerable to a degree, first off. But the more that I care about you, the more that I'm like, I don't want to share anything serious, you know, like
because it's someone that's actually
it's
worth
a big risk.
Losing,
like
you're
yeah,
what worth keeping,
big,
you know what I'm saying?
Big risk,
yeah,
big risk, yeah. And I would definitely say I experience with you where I'm like, oh, I have a person in my life who is going to be vocal about how she feels. My mom. Yeah, pretty much. That's it. And so that was very new for me. Also, like in dating, like the second I like really start liking someone, I'm like, oh,
yeah.
I don't want to tell you anything I'm thinking because what if you don't like that? And now I like you and you're going to leave now. And it's this underlying fear of like, oh, they're going to take off because that's messy or something like that, which is wrong, but also valid in the fear, having that fear.
Well, because you had a very formative experience where that was what you saw.
Yeah,
like,
that was a direct repercussion of me sharing my feelings.
Yeah.
So I feel like you are so valid in what you're feeling and in being scared. What you need to do is sit down and think about if you really like your boyfriend and friends and want to prioritize them. If you do, then what I would do with my boyfriend or Taryne is I'd be like, hey, I hear you. I realize I'm not good at this. I want you to know it's not personal. And in fact, I would like to actually take steps towards fixing this. Yeah. So if you are feeling like if this was Taryne and me and Taryne in this situation, and I was like, I suck at this, I would be like, all right, let's come up with a word that Taryne can tell me when she feels unsafe or unable to open up because I'm being so shut off. Yeah. Then she can be like, pineapple, Ashley. Yeah. Mother freaking pineapple. And I'll just be like, oh. Yeah. Because I am sometimes very unaware of how I'm coming off. I feel like I'm coming off all like cool and collective, and I'm not. So.
Oh my God. The amount of times where I'm like, do you want to talk about it? Because obviously stuff's going on between us. And
I'm like, what do you mean I'm fine?
I'm
like,
fine. Have I been stressed that we're like mad at each other for 2 weeks? Like just me?
And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. And obviously if these people are bringing it up to you, they care about you a lot. Yeah. So I would come up with some kind of strategy to kind of very slowly and baby steps challenge yourself into being more open.
Yeah. I feel like I can't say this enough, and I say this all the time. I think that and it sucks because this shouldn't be a hard concept, but I feel like it is. You have to be able to tell people how you need to be loved, and like vice versa. So I think that you opening up to them and saying, hey, I know I come off closed off, and I want you to know, like, I've seen this pattern in my life, and it's when I feel really close to someone. So I just want to, like, solidify to you, I care about you a lot, and that's why this is happening.
Yeah.
And then, like, Ash wanted to jump in so bad.
Jump in. Continue.
But that, like, for me, and some of, like, the hardest things about, like, mine and Ashley's friendship, I'm the type of person that will dig till I get to, like, the bottom of it, which you probably hate, but also you probably need.
It's bittersweet.
Yeah. But for me, like, I've done the work to try to figure out, like, why is this, like, why are we running into this all the time? And then once I get to the bottom of it, it helps me to understand. And then, like, in all relationships, then you choose, like, is this worth me, like, fighting for? Or is this something that's, like, a deal breaker for me, right?
Yeah.
And I think that you need to set that stage to give yourself that freedom, that, like, wiggle room of, like, hey, I totally care about you, and I know, and I'm acknowledging that it probably feels opposite, but this is just a pattern I have, and I'm trying to work it out, and then come up with stuff like, you know, like Ashley was saying, like, let me know when you feel like I'm closing off because I'm not aware of it all the time. Also, like, there's so many articles out there of, like, what do you do when someone you love shuts down? What do you do when you start to shut down? And there's so many tips of, like, you know, like, writing down your thoughts, like, being able to, like, have those words of, like, if you're in a conversation and you feel shutting down, like, of saying, hey, can we table this conversation and talk about it later, so that you're able to process that, which without just being, like, very defensive and then causing a bigger issue. Find stuff that's, like, self-soothing, you know, talk to a professional about ways to, like, open up and be intimate with people. So there's so many steps out there, but I think that you've already accomplished, like, the biggest part, which is acknowledging, like,
Absolutely.
wow, I shut off to people that I'm close to, you know?
The more we're talking about this, the more I'm relating to it. I'm specifically remembering a moment of, like, probably 5 years ago, Alicia, my little sister, opened up and was like, you don't tell me anything. And you don't share, like, any, like, girl talk or, like, what you're going through emotionally. And I remember, like, verbatim saying, well, you never asked me. And that I was like, if you asked me, I would tell you anything.
Yeah.
Like, if you were like, hey, like, what happened the other night? Or if you were like, why do you do this? Or has this ever happened to you? I would tell you point blank, like, exactly what's gone on. I'm just not the type to bring it up because I'm definitely more of a private person. Yeah. And she was like, oh, solved all our problems. Because from then on, she was like, did you ever, when did this happen? You know, and it makes it so much more easier for me to bring it up. Yeah. So maybe that's something you and your boyfriend can do.
Yep.
Are we the same person?
Kind of, Ash.
Interesting.
Kind of. Welcome to my struggle. No, I'm just kidding. No, yeah. I really think that you just got to come up with, like, a plan, like a plan to set into place, but being open with them too, with your people in your life that you're like, hey, this is, like, where I'm at. This is what I need. Yeah. Let me know what you need. Like, let me know, you know, when I make you feel a certain way. If you need me to reassure you, I can do that. But yeah, I think you're in a good place because you've acknowledged it and you're aware of it. And it sounds like you've already started that communication with the people in your life. So now it's just, like, overcoming that next step. Yeah. Yeah.
I love this for you. I think it's going to be great. I love
think it's
growth.
Gonna be great. Yes, we do. We're all about growth. Should I
wrap us up with a dad joke? Of course.
I had the weirdest dream last night. I dreamt I was a muffler. I woke up exhausted.
Oh my God. Oh my God. We've been doing dad jokes at the end of every episode for the longest time now because sometimes they get heavy, and a nice little dad joke just cherry on top makes it easier.
One of the things I forced my way into becoming a regular on this podcast.
She's done it a few times. Guys, thank you so much for making it all the way to the dad joke. If you did, you already know that we love you the mostest. Follow us on all of our socials. That's where we're the most active, and we love chatting with you guys.
Yes, we do.
And we'll talk to you guys in the next episode, which will be coming soon.
Yes. Love you.
Bye.
Bye. Today's episode is brought to you by Lumino. I am afraid of the dentist.
Taryne is afraid of the dentist.
So I became obsessed with trying to find like products that helped from home. But the problem that comes with, especially like teeth whitening, because I'm a coffee drinker, is most of them were like too harsh or didn't work. And I do have more sensitive teeth. And so we got sent a package from Lumino.
Lumino makes toothpaste, mouthwash, and whitening that are a totally new and different approach for improving your oral health. I'm obsessed with Lumino because they use purposeful and uncompromising ingredients like sea salt, aloe, and coconut oil to brighten your smile and clean your smile. Plus, everything they make is certified non-toxic, which is my absolute favorite thing. I've become obsessed recently with all things natural, and Lumino is definitely crushing it in the natural category. As you guys know, I do YouTube, I do social, so my face is constantly on camera, and I'm obsessed with whitening my teeth, and their whitening strips are absolutely fantastic. It only takes 30 minutes to completely revitalize your smile and brightens your smile with no sensitivity issues. Thank God.
Find Lumino on Amazon.com and get $7 off today. That's LUMINEUX. Remember, it's spelled with an X so you can X out the harm. Lumino, dedicated to illuminating better ideas in oral care. Today's episode is brought to you by Simply Safe.
Simply Safe protects your whole home around the clock, every door, window, and room. It's backed by the best 24/7 professional monitoring in the business, ready to dispatch police, firefighters, or EMTs to your home. With a comprehensive set of sensors and cameras, including the all-new wireless outdoor security camera, you always know what's going on inside and outside of your home. And I love Simply Safe because there's never a long-term contract, thank God. You can even try it for 60 days risk-free, and if you don't like it, you can send it back free of charge. We love a company that stands by their product.
Yes, we do. You can customize the perfect system for your home in just a few minutes at simplysafe.com/advice. Go today and claim a free indoor security camera plus 20% off with interactive monitoring. Go to simplysafe.com/advice.